Yulia Kartikasari with study number 13, and today I want to explain in showing the thesis that has titled The Flouting of Cooperative Principle Maxim in Inside of Movie. And this thesis by Yana Sylvia Ashari Putri from English Education, University of Muhammadiyah, Sumatera Utara. Okay, this study is concerned with an analysis of Cray's cooperative principle which are constituted in conversation. This research was conducted by using qualitative method, and the analysis particularly discussed the flouting of maxim in the utterance, which are described in 4 types. There is maxim of quantity, maxim of quality, maxim of relation, and maxim of manner. Maxim and conversational maxim. From Levinson, 1983, to create cooperative conversation between the speaker and hearer, there is rule that should be obeyed, namely maxim. Maxim is a principle that must be adhered to by the participant of interaction. The rule must be obeyed by the speaker in order to make the conversation fluently and clearly. From Greece, said identifies 4 basic maxim of conversation or general principle underlying the efficient cooperative use of language, which jointly express a general cooperative principle. The next is types of maxim. The types of maxim, there are maxim of quantity, maxim of quality, maxim of relation, and maxim of manner. In the maxim of quantity, make your contribution as informative as is required. Do not make your contribution more informative than is required. And the maxim of quality, try to make your contribution one that is true. Do not say what you believe to be false, and do not say that for which you lack adequate evidence. And the third, in the maxim of relation, make your contribution relevant. And in the maxim of manner is the speaker and hearer have to be obvious in giving contribution in a communication exchange. The maxim focus on how what is said to be said. And in the maxim of manner, it focus on avoid obscurity, avoid ambiguity, and be brief, and also be orderly. Okay, now flouting of maxim. What is flouting? Flouting is the condition where the speakers do not purposefully fulfill certain maxim. Flouting are quiet in the sense that it's obvious at the time of the utterance that the speaker has deliberately lied, supplied insufficient information, or been ambiguous, irrelevant, or hard to understand. Now, we go to 4 sound maxims in cooperative principle. The first is flouting of maxim of quantity. If a speaker float the maxim of quantity, they do not give the hearer enough information to know what is being talked about because they do not want the hearer to know the full picture. The speaker is not implying anything. They are being economical with the truth, for example. And second, flouting of maxim of quality. If speaker flouting maxim of quality, they are not being sincere and giving to hear the wrong information. And the third, flouting of maxim of relation, in answering the question, how much did that new dress cost, darling? The wife could have answered by flouting the maxim of relation in order to distract him and change the topic. And last, flouting of maxim of manner. In other situation, in answering the question, how much did that new dress cost, darling? The wife could also have flouting the maxim of manner by saying the setting, a husband is not the only one who earns money, but the economic condition is bad. He sees wife wears unusual dress. Then asks, husband, how much did that new cost, darling? And the wife answered, a tiny fraction of my salary, to probably a bigger fraction of the salary of the woman that sold it to me. Okay, now we go to the purpose of Flouting Maxim. The purpose of Flouting Maxim there are to show respect, to create hyperbola and irony, to change a topic, to keep a secret, and to create humor. In to show respect, people tend to touch utterance that Flouting Maxim of quantity in order to show respect. And in the to create hyperbola and irony, in creating hyperbola and irony, people tend to maxim of float the maxim of quality. People exaggerate the real situation by using hyperbola, which is obviously untrue, while people tend to use mean as the opposite of real situation to create irony. To change a topic, there is the people float maxim of relation in order to change the topic, and it may be because the speaker does not want to give answer or does not know the answer. And then to keep a secret. In order to keep a secret, people use utterance that float maxim of manner. Secret must not be known by others and people have to quietly talk about it or use some unclear utterance, so that the utterance cannot be understood by others. To create humor. In order to create humor, people use some utterance to make people laugh. People tend to create humor by doing floating. Any type of maxim depends on the situation. Well, now we come to findings, and the table shows that are 30 utterances that Flouting maxim. The table shows that in inside of movie floating all types of maxim. The most dominant type of Flouting maxim of quantity, about 13 utterances, there is about 43-34%, because they give more information than needed than followed of manner 10 utterances. There is about 33%, and quality for utterance there is about 33%, and relation 3 utterance with 10%. Okay, the maxim found exists in inside of movie was founded from the 4 types, such as in maxim quantity, the way of speaker or the main character who often say too much information as respond to the person. In the maxim quality, the speaker tried to tell a lie in the response to the others. And in the maxim relation, the speaker didn't understand what happening case from the interlocutor. And the third, in the maxim manner, the main character respond by some ambiguity statement that confusing the interlocutor, so that hearer or the interlocutors did not understand what the speaker said. Well, the conclusion for this thesis is there were 4 types of maxim which were flown in inside out movie, like maxim of quantity, maxim of quality, maxim of relation, and maxim of manner in responding the question or statement given by the others. And second, process of floating maxim relate to the toner. And the context of the maxim occur is when the main character gives obscurity information to trick the listener. And the floating of maxim happen because the character want not just find about a little information, but the speaker won't give much information so that clear.